Hello, my name is Janani. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys one of my favorite techniques. This is going to be very similar to my gold vein tutorial, and this technique's very versatile. For this project, I'm going to be using some Primo white translucent, some white clay, light gray clay, dark gray clay, and some black. Since I want my dominant color to be white and translucent, I'm going to be using larger amounts of that. Here are some of my favorite pieces I use this technique on. First, I rolled my clay into a snake and chopped it into tiny pieces. The tinier your pieces are, the more closer marbled it will be. Make sure you check out the description for all the tools and supplies used in this tutorial. For this technique, it's important that your clay isn't overly soft and not stick together so much. If they are, you can spread it on a piece of paper and place it in the freezer for about 10 minutes. For the marbling for this project, I'll be using this gold leaf that I got off of Amazon, but I'm going to show you guys several mediums you can use. On the gold vein tutorial, I used mica powder. This is my favorite color, Aztec gold. You can also use acrylic paint. This is one of the pieces that I use acrylic paint on. I use white paint with some black clay. And last but not least, you can also use some shaved off soft pastels. After I got all the colors chopped, I mixed them all together. Then I mixed and crumbled 8 sheets of gold leaf with the clay. I used about 2 sheets. You can use any medium I showed earlier in place of the gold leaf. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to see me create a tutorial with any of the other mediums. Using gold leaf is definitely less messy than using mica powder. If you haven't seen the gold vein tutorial, make sure you check it out. To help the clay stick back together, I use some liquid polymer clay. I poured a generous amount and started mixing it in. Then I formed the clay into a log shape. You are essentially creating a large cane. For make it easier for me to cut, I placed this cane in the freezer for about 20 minutes. After it was nice and cool, I cut pieces that are about 4 to 5 millimeters thick. You can see the beautiful pattern that was created by the mix of colors. I personally enjoy having little concentrated areas of gold, so to create that, I simply pulled apart the discs. Then I created the slab, placing those randomly. create the slab, you can always use a background sheet of clay, but for this, I usually just lay it on itself. It's so much fun working on this since it's like you're creating a small puzzle. After the slab was created, I placed a piece of paper and used my roller to even out the surface. I rolled and burnished the surface. It's important that you even it out before it goes through the pasta machine. You can put this slab through the pasta machine whichever way you would like. I first run it through horizontally and then run it twice through vertically, going down in thickness gradually. For the finished slab, I used the third setting, which is about 3 mm thickness. Then I evened out the surface again. Next, I cut the shapes for the earrings. Just so you guys know, you don't need any fancy cutters. I couldn't find an arch for the size that I need, so I created one using an old business card. And I used an X-Acto knife to cut this shape. And obviously when you hand cut pieces like this, it needs a little bit more love than others, so be careful when you're cutting it. Make sure that you cut them precisely. While you are watching me cut my shapes, I would like to announce that our Etsy shop, everything's on sale currently. They're 10% off for the Labor Day weekend, and we also have free shipping on orders over $35. To avoid sanding these shapes a whole lot, I like to gently smoothen the side like so. To make sure I don't waste the leftover clay, I like to either roll it in a ball and marble it more, or make a small slab and cut more pieces off of it. After all the pieces were cut, I baked them in the oven for about an hour. My temperature is usually between 225 Fahrenheit to 275 Fahrenheit. I recommend you bake some samples and figure out your ideal temperature and time. And don't forget to use a thermometer. And if I'm using translucent clay, I usually leave it in the freezer after baking, so the translucent will be a little bit clearer. After the pieces were nice and cooled down, I move on to sanding. If you would like to see a detailed sanding tutorial, make sure you click the right hand corner and go to that tutorial and check it out. And I also created the holes for the jump rings. To finish these earrings off, I put all my hardware and I attach my earring post using Scalby Bacon Bond. And since I used some gold leaf, I had to finish my pieces off. For this, I used polyurethane gloss varnish. And that is the end of this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and tag me on your creations. And also check out our Etsy shop. There's lots of good deals, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.